string, and then slide into the next B in a fifth position. So this is the fifth position. So you practice this many times until you manage, and then you stay in a fifth position, then go down to the third position with the fourth finger, then go down to the first position again with the fourth finger. We're going to shift into the third position now, and going back into the first position. That was the first passage. Now comes the second finger on the E string, and we slide into the eighth position with the fourth finger. Let's try that. Make sure to practice without vibrato, because your vibrato will irritate you. So practice without vibrato. Just slide in. It'll be much easier to find a note, even though it feels like the vibrato might help you, but it just sounds very nervous and irritated. So make sure to practice without vibrato. Also, always practice without vibrato, especially when you practice the intonation. Do that as often as you can, and you'll see how your sound will improve dramatically, because you'll be doing much more with your right arm. So let's try that again. Now we arrived in the eighth position, and we stay there. Then we go down into the sixth position, and then go down into the fourth position, first position, third position. We slide into the eighth position, stay there and keep playing. Then go down to the sixth position, the fourth finger. Fourth position now. First position. Third position. 4, 2, 3, 4. Second, third, and fourth fingers are stuck together. And then we go into the fourth position. Play this small third. And stretch our fourth finger into the sixth position, basically. And then our hand moves, our arm moves into the sixth position. So we don't shift immediately, we simply stretch our finger and then move our arm. This is what it looks like. Okay, let's try that again. And then carry on in the sixth position. Go down into the fourth position. And then first position. And we slide with the fourth finger again into the sixth position. So we're in the sixth position. Yeah, this is third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So let's try that again. And then go down to the half position and play the A, the second finger on a G string. And then There are a lot of fun options of fingerings here. We can play 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and open string. Or we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and stay on a G string. Let's try that. Or whatever you do, practice both of them. They're both really good for your fingers. So the second passage goes like this. We carry on in a first position. Go into the third. And then fourth position. You can use lots of different fingerings. I choose the following options. Stay in the first position. Use your warmest vibrato. Go into the third position. Then third finger on the A string, which means fourth position. Third position now. And second position. Back into the third position. First position on the E string. Second position on the A string. Now we have 2 double stops in the first position and 2 double stops in the second position on the D and A strings. And now shift into the third position. Now back into the first position. Third position, first finger on the D string. Second position. And third. Now we slide into this E in a fifth position. And my favorite fingering here is to carry on playing in the second position. It's really comfortable here in the second position. Here you can go down into the first. Then slide into the third position. And slide back into the first position. And then you can either carry on playing the first position on the E string, or you could go up into the fifth position on the A string. And then slide down into the fourth position with your second finger. Let's do the whole thing together. Are you ready? Or we could play it on an A string. Now we carry on playing in a first position. Shift into the third position. And back into the first. However, I prefer a different fingering here. I love playing this in a fourth position on a G string. Start with the first finger on the G string. And then shift into the third position. And then back into the first. Let's try that again. So play with it. It's definitely fun practicing it. Even if you choose to start in a first position, definitely practice this fingering. It's fun. Now we start in the first position with the second finger on the G string. And play the whole phrase in the first position. Then we start with the open D string and carry on in a second position. And stay in a second position. Now we can play in a second position. Or we could play the same thing in a third position. And whether you play in a second or in a third position doesn't matter. You can slide in anyway. Yeah, both options allow to do that. So whatever you prefer, slide in. And then stay in a second position. Now we're moving on to the next part. We're in a third position and start with the first finger on the D string. And now we stay in a third position. Go back into the first. Now we carry on in the third position. So, what did I do here? I started in a third position with the second finger on the A string. Then went down into the first position. And then slid into the fifth position with my second finger on the A string. Stay there. And then move into the fourth position. And stay there. And then play the chord either in the first position or in the third. In the first position sounds better probably. You have a full power here. So let's play this little passage here. Start the last part in the first position and then go into the fifth. And do the rest as suggested before. Now, page 2, señoras y señores, we start with the open D string. So we start in the first position and then shift into the third position. Let's try that again. Here I play 1, 2, 2, 3. then third position. Back into the first position. Now, this is a very exciting part. We can play it in two different ways. We can shift into the second position and then carry on playing in the first position. Or go into the third position right away and then shift into the fourth position. Stay on the A string, go into the third position. Second position, second finger. Isn't that exciting? I love it. So, and then you go into the third position and then move or shift into the fourth position. Yeah, third position, fourth position. And then either stay there or go down into the third position. Here we play 4 notes in a third position and then 4 notes in the fourth position. And then we go on A string, the fourth finger, and then replace the fourth finger with a third finger. Yeah, stay on the A string. We're in the fifth position on the A string. Stay there. Now we play 1, 2, 3, 4. All the fingers are stuck together because we have semitones. And now you slide with your fourth finger. This is fun. So let's try that. And then go down into the third position. Stay there. And then slide down into the first position. Isn't that fun? This is brilliant. So if you play the whole passage, it would sound like this. That a lot. Enjoy all the glissandi. It's fun. Here you can do that. We're playing tango. Carry on in the third position. So you can either play up and down or you could make your bow jump here. It's possible. The faster you play, the easier it gets. So you practice by basically letting go. Don't try to jump. Don't go like... Just basically drop your bow and see what happens. At some point you'll learn it. The most important thing is to carry on going down. Because if you stop, you won't hear anything. You won't hear a nice sound. It will be just a strange noise. So drop and go. Drop and go. At some point you'll be able to do that. So practice slowly a lot. Drop the bow. And depending on how many notes you want to have, you can keep going or you can stop and go back. If you just need 3 notes, that's what we need here. Then take the up bow after the 3rd note. Okay? Or you can simply play up and down. So this passage we play in a 3rd position and then we carry on in a 2nd position. And then we go back into the first position. Play 2 double stops in the first position, 2 double stops in the third position. And the same thing again on the A and E strings. So let's do the whole thing now. And then carry on in the third position. You move, you basically shift into the sixth position and stay there. Stretch your fourth finger on the E string. And stay there. So be very careful, because the higher you go, the nearer the fingers go together. In the first position, fingers are wide apart, and here in the last position, fingers are all stuck together, no matter whether we're playing a semitone or a full step. You have to know that in order to play in tune. So let's try this shift again. We start on the G string and we're in the third position. Open G string comes first, and then there is a double stop on the G and D strings, and then we shift into the sixth position. Practice that several times. Make sure your arm comes out here, because if you just send your finger out, you won't be in the right position, and then all the other notes will be out of tune. So send out your whole arm and stay in a sixth position here. Then stretch your fourth finger and play the A on the E string, and you basically shift it here. First you stretch the finger, then you shift into the seventh position and stay on the A string. Now second finger on the E string, and then third finger on the A string. Yeah, so fourth. Carry on the A string. Here we're in the eighth position. Okay, stay there. And then go down into the seventh position. And you play a nice pizzicato here. Let's do the whole thing. You ready? Carry on playing either in the third position or in the second, whatever you prefer. And then we're in the fourth position. We start in the fourth position, then we go down to the third, first, third. Okay, let's try that. Carry on in the first position or in the third position. And second position. You could also play the whole thing in second position. That way you don't have to shift. So this one is definitely in the second position. Unless you want to play it on the A string, which is not necessary in this case. And then come. Double stops and chords, which we play in the first position. We carry on with the second finger on the E string, the third position. And we shift into the eighth position. We carry on. And then go down into the sixth position. Second finger on the E string. Go down into the third position with the fourth finger. Stay there. And here you take the third finger for the G, then second finger. We're basically in the fourth position. Now we go down to the third. Stay there. First position. And second finger on the E string for the D, which means we're in the fifth position on the E string. Third position. Stay there. And we carry on in the third position. First position, G string. Back into the third position. Second position. Third position. And harmonics. You basically put the first finger on the A string without any pressure in the third position. And this is what it will sound like. And then you put the first finger down on the A string, you press the string down, and then you put the fourth finger on top of the string, hardly touching the string. And this is what it will sound like. It's harmonics. Then we carry on in the third position. Go down to the first position. Here we basically land in a half position because we play 1, 2, 3 fingers stuck together and the first finger is low, which means it goes all the way down to the nut. You could also play on the A string by going into the fourth position if you prefer that. That's also possible. Then you stay in the third position and then either you carry on playing in the third position and then move up into the sixth position, or you shift into the sixth position right away and start playing the third finger on the G string and stay in the sixth position the whole time. Let's try that. Found the note. Now let's do it. Those are the last couple of notes, and this is what it sounds like. When you practice slowly, and you practice a bit faster, and so on. And you can play faster and faster. Just make sure to practice slowly a lot because first of all, you have to master the shift. You can do it by sliding into the sixth position with your first finger so that you know how far you have to get out, yeah, with your arm. And then you have your third finger in tune. And here you play. Here we have 1/2 steps because it's E flat and F sharp, which is quite unusual for your fingers. You have to get used to it. Then you carry on. And here we have 1/2 steps again. Yeah, so all these unusual movements, you have to master them by practicing them on a daily basis. You have the whole fingering. I gave you some practicing tips as well. Also showed you how to shift properly, how to do the shifts, and that it's really important to come out with your arm and not to send the finger out, otherwise all the other fingers will be out of tune. So always shift by moving your arm and not your fingers. Sometimes we stretch our fingers, but then we do it deliberately, we do it consciously, okay? Usually we stretch the finger when there's just one note, or we stretch the finger and then arm comes out later. If you have any questions, post them down below. Let me know what you think. Perhaps you came up with your own fingerings and would like to let me know which ones they are. Perhaps you can also make a video and send me a link. I'll comment there. Let's stay in touch and keep practicing on a daily basis. It's fun.